Hi, this is Neil, Denton Cycles, doing something very technical today. I'm doing a camera-in-camera video. It's very distracting watching yourself on the screen while you're also videoing other things. However, what am I doing today? I forget. Hang on, yeah, it's come back. I am in the process of rejigging the house, namely the bedrooms where I keep a large part of my Raleigh SBDU collection. Times change, needs must. I've just started my own business, Denton Cycles, and I need space. So over the last year, I've been trying to rationalise and sell some of my personal collection. Not only does it help fund the business, but it also gives me back some space to do other things with Denton Cycles. But before I pull the whole collection apart, I thought I'd give it one last show for anybody who really wants to see it. But just bear in mind, this is only a very small percentage. It's some nice stuff, but it's not even the tip of the iceberg in terms of the significance of some of the bikes and frames I have. So I'll give you a very quick tour today and describe some of the frames just in this room alone. There's so many, I do struggle to remember the frame numbers sometimes, so please bear with us if I don't know the exact SB frame number. But starting with these two. These two are, one of them is a Denton. Very significant for me because this particular bike was owned by my boss when I worked back in the original Denton Cycles in Newcastle. This frame was owned by Colin and it has a Campagnolo Super Record 50th anniversary group set on it. I tweaked this a little bit because I do have another just hanging there that we'll come to, which is totally original apart from the tubs, which I had to replace because the old ones blew up. That's what happens with vintage tubs. But this one I tweaked slightly. I fitted a SLG Superleggera saddle with aluminium rails. It has a Campagnolo aluminium freewheel. It has a Regina hollow pin chain. It has a titanium, the second generation titanium Super Record bottom bracket. Many don't remember that the Super Record anniversary group just came with the standard Nova Record steel bottom bracket. It has things like an aluminium Snelly stem bolt, titanium seat bolt, titanium water cage bolts. And that bike, although it's from 1983, is probably significantly lighter than many modern bikes. The bike behind it is a totally original special edition Raleigh. Special edition because it has quite unique paint. It's eggshell black. Now, I've never done anything with this bike since I bought it. I haven't even cleaned it. It is still covered in the dirt that it had the day I picked it up. I mean, look at that Edco headset. It's filthy. But that is a really, really, really nice 753 frame in eggshell black. The guy was told originally by Jared O'Donovan that he wouldn't be able to get that colour. But because the bike was delayed so long, they finally said, right, as compensation, we'll do that colour especially for you. So I'm not aware, I could be wrong, but I'm not aware of any other Raleigh 753 frames in eggshell black. This one will be coming up for sale soon. It's just far too big for me and I need the space. Again, unique features, a TA triple chain sets, the lovely Campag long cage Raleigh rear derailleur, Snelly leather saddle. It's absolutely gorgeous, just a little bit dirty. Right, moving on. This one is actually coming off the shelf as soon as I finish this video because it is sold. This sold on Sunday night on eBay. I need to get it in a box today. I put it on at 8:15 and I received an offer at 8:16. I did a little bit of a counter offer and that was it. It was sold. An original 753, low profile, 24-inch wheel. That's the wheel there. That's going with it. Track frame. I was told it was ridden by Dave Mann, who was on the Raleigh Banana team at the time. It was ridden at the National Championships and it's done about 15 kilometres, 15 kilometre races. So that one is going. I'm really quite sad about that because it's totally unique. There's other banana low profiles, maybe it's one or two, but nothing I've seen is as good as this. This one is again another low profile. The camera doesn't really show the geometry, but again 24-inch wheel, fork blade, Reynolds 531C. Now this one was built for a chap who took it to Australia, never rode it. He built it so it has marks on the dropouts where he's had wheels, but he never rode it. He took it apart again and shipped it back to the UK, and I bought this. It's never been ridden. It is pristine. It is absolutely mint. There's not a mark on it. If you look at the Raleigh guide, the plastic guide underneath, there's no marks on it. So there's nothing. It is just like you would expect a brand new frame to be. Right, let's go through the top ones first, very quickly. Well, if I can, because there's so much to say about them. 1988, Raleigh Banana, original paint. I've refitted some of the transfers because they were damaged, especially around the back of the seat stays here. That has Dura-Ace 7400 series, so it's a mixture of, because it's 1988, it has a mixture of 7400, 7401, such as the clipless pedals. That was the first year, 1987, they came out. And 7402, which is why it has the aero brake levers. And this is the first year, 1988, that they had SLR. That was the first time that made an appearance. So it's 8-speed, Dura-Ace, 7400, 7401, 7402 on a Reynolds 753 frame. A little bit quirky. It actually has the 27.4 seat pin. So that seat pin there, extremely rare. I had to get that from Australia, and it wasn't particularly cheap, but it's the only way you get a saddle on that bike. 27.4 seat pin. I'll come back to this one. The one on the end, there's just so many bikes that are special. This one was bought by two brothers in the Netherlands, the frame, and over the course of 2 years, from 84 to 86, they built it with Campac Nolo, Super Record, and a few Nuvo Record bits, like the pedals. They liked it so much, they never rode it. This bike has never seen the tarmac. None of these components have ever been used. If you look at that brake caliper and those brake blocks, they are brand new, perfectly new, unused. Every single thing on this bike, the frame, the parts, the turbo saddle, all period correct, all brand new, all never ridden. And as far as I'm concerned, while I own it, I'll never ride it either. It's an absolute time capsule of a bike. It has late period Super Record, so no patent on the derailleur, no top bolts. So if you know your Campac stuff, you'll know that. Like I say, an absolute time warp. A lovely bike. It's my size, I just can't bring myself to ride it. This is the other Denton. This is a Denton SBDU, as you can see by the chainstay oval. I bought this quite locally from a guy called John. Totally gobsmacked when I got the email from him saying he had a Denton 753 built by Raleigh with the ultimate group set, the 50th anniversary group set. Like I say, I've kept this original apart from the tubs, which I had to replace because the old ones just blew up. I just heard a bang one day from downstairs, went upstairs, and there was bits of tub all over the bedroom, but never mind. It's an absolute gorgeous bike. This red one is nothing really special. It's very similar to that one over there. It is a 531C frame. What makes this quirky is that it is a metric tube frame. So 531C was generally an imperial tube. This is metric. So it's far lighter because of the tube diameters and gauges than a normal 531C. This is an equivalent sort of weight bike to a 753. Because of that quirk in the tubing, it also takes a very hard to find seat pin. This is a 26.6 seat pin instead of a 27.2 that you'd normally find in 531C. It's a really nice looking frame, but apart from that lightness in the metric tubing, it's nothing spectacular. I just like this bike because it has one of my favourite group sets on. It has, if you can see it, sorry if that goes out of focus, Shimano 600 SIS, which dates to about 1984. And that's one of the first group sets that had index gearing. And that takes me right back to the time that I first put Shimano 105 6-speed index gearing on an old 1823 tubed Raleigh Banana back when I was a teenager. So it's just basically a sentimental bike, really. I just love the look of it, love the gearing, and it's a little bit quirky. This bike is a absolute time warp of a used Raleigh time trial special. This bike probably features if you go onto the Classic Rendezvous website, I think. This is listed under the Raleigh SBDU category as an example of an original time trial bike. This is from the 70s, so if you know your time trialing from the 70s, you'll know that there's tape on the bottom of the bars, no tape on the top of the bars, drilled brake levers, single gear lever, single chainring, big chainring, tiny gears, Suntour derailleur because it was the lightest. It has Wyman 500s, not great brakes, but they were light. Everything about that bike is built for lightness, and it's exceptional. A feature of time trial frames usually from Raleigh as well is you can see, no bottle bosses, no need to carry a water bottle on these bikes. They just went flat out for a short period of time and you made it as light as possible. That bike actually won that award. I shipped it back from Australia. It won the Sydney Classic Bicycle Show. Road bicycles 1961 to 1980. And I won that in 2017. So a few of these bikes, that one, are very well travelled. This bike, extremely special bike. I don't know if you can make out the profile of the tubes, but this is a Raleigh Dynaflight with the 753 ovoid tubing. Fillet braced 753, a very, very, very skillful job, especially back in the 70s. You had to be a very good craftsman frame builder to build these. And this was, you can see the contour and the tubes there from round to oval on the seat tube. This one is actually claimed to be a prototype, and I've got no doubt of that. It is actually the bike that belonged to Alan Oakley. And if you know your Raleigh history, he was a big figure in Raleigh, often credited, sometimes disputed, but often credited with the iconic design of the Raleigh Chopper. Him and another guy, sadly I think both passed away now. I know Alan is. I think the guy was Tom Curran, was it? A design icon in himself, I think. They both claim to have designed it. Depends who you listen to, what the story is as to who you believe, but anyway, that is Alan Oakley's prototype Dynaflight. A very special bike indeed, and I'm chuffed to have that in my collection. Right then, I've got quite a few frames at the bottom as well. I haven't even mentioned SB4059, which was the bike that started my blogging in collection. However, I'll go through the frames on the floor because time is ticking and I'm probably boring everybody to death. So, this one here, I think it's SB5084. You cannot find these. This is a Raleigh cyclocross frame. in original TI colours in 531 SL. It is rough, it is rusted. I rescued this from the Isles of Scilly, I think. It was used as a caravan bike. It was just kept outside a caravan, had straight handlebars, horrible mudguards, the worst components you could ever find on a bike, and it was just sitting there being abused and just wearing away. And I've cleaned it up. It's not pretty, but it's a survivor and it's rare. SB95, you do not get many 2-digit SB frames. This one is even more unique because it has Nervex Professional lugs, which is one of only 2 SBDU frames I've seen with those, and I've got the other one. Repainted in 1977 by SBDU in what many have called, I think, the John Player special colours that were popular at the time. I'm not sure if that's the reason it's painted like that, but that's how it's painted. Next to that, I mean, what can I say about this? This is SB9. This is the 9th frame to ever receive an SB number. Out of just under 10,000 SBs, only about 8,500 actually built at Ilkeston, which was the heart of the SBDU before it moved back to Nottingham. This is totally original. It's a complete bike. I've got all the other parts in the other room, restoring them. This will once again be a bike. I doubt it'll ever get sold. It's in beautiful original condition. There's 2 earlier bikes, SB6 and SB7. SB7 is a renovation. SB6 is original, it's a survivor, but it's nowhere near as nice or as original as SB9. Right, SB498, which you might think is actually Bob Jackson, but it's not. It's a Raleigh SBDU, which they built for Bob Jackson out of Reynolds 753 tubing, because Raleigh were the only people with 753 at the time. This was used by Bob Jackson to publicise their venture into building 753. They just didn't have any 753s at the time. This was used by Bob Jackson at the New York Cycle Show in 1976, in February 1976 to be precise. This is probably the earliest 753 frame ever to enter the US. There was a couple at that show. This is one of them. I don't know which one was off the plane first, but this could be the first 753 in America. It's totally original. It was used by Bob Jackson on their stand. It was displayed hanging off set scales to demonstrate the lightness of 753. And it's immaculate. And it's come to me after many years of knowing about this frame. The next frame is a time trial frame with the most beautifully detailed Carlton Capella lugs, hidden fork crown, in a gorgeous golden colour. I don't know what else more I can say. It's just beautiful. Next to it, again with modified Carlton Capella lugs, is a track frame built in metal 753. It's stamped SH3770, which is Steve Heffnan's frame from 1977. Has some gorgeous details which I can't show you apart from the detailing. It has square chainstay seat stay bridges, which are also drilled, very similar to Presto frames down the ground. Next up is a team frame. This is Gunter Harrods, stamped GH6175. This is his 6-day frame from 1975. Reynolds 531, painted in the Panasonic colours, even though it was a TI frame originally. If you take the headset out, so you can see the original red TI paint. Sometimes the team kept frames, they didn't get rid of them or sell them off. They were repainted in the newer team colours and used as training frames, and that's exactly what happened to this one. This one, I think, is SB4409, and again, it's a Dynaflight. It's not a prototype Dynaflight. This actually has a frame number. Believed to be one of only about 25 of these ever made. They didn't make many because they were so difficult to make and cost a lot of money, because there's 2 different build-ups of silver solder on these frames. So the tubes would have been expensive to produce, and the building using all the silver would have been expensive to produce, and the time taken in labour would have been expensive. But I have it, and it's gorgeous. A production frame of the original prototype. Next up is, now you might think I've got the forks the wrong way around on that, but I haven't. It's a motorpay stair frame. Designed like that to get the rider on the track as close as humanly possible and as forward in a position as possible to the motorbike in front that was whizzing around the track. Quite a bizarre and dangerous form of track cycling. The frames are built like tanks. That's a solid frame. Massive chain rings, saddle and handlebars, very, very forward facing. It has a little bracket on the fork crown there to support a brace that helped support the handlebars, because the handlebars were so far forward to get the rider so far forward, so he could sit in the airflow essentially of the motorbike rider. Finally, I just totally forget the frame number. Is it SB1500? This was a time trial special. It still is a time trial special. The significant thing about this is that it was built by Raleigh as a show frame. This was exhibited at the Harrogate show, I think in 1977. Again, some unique features, but totally time warp. Again, this was to demonstrate Raleigh's and the SBDU skill at building specialist frames. And it is beautiful. And this doesn't even include any of my other team frames. There's not Supreme, there's no Henny Kuiper, there's no Jan Raz in here. My Beryl Burton frame isn't in here. My original TI-753 frames aren't in here. So this is just part of the collection that I'm having to rationalise and do something with, so I can use this space for Denton Cycles. But anyway, I hope you've liked that little waffle. It's taken so far 22 minutes and 40 seconds to describe some of these bikes. I could go on forever. I literally could go on forever, but I'm going to press the button now and stop, because I need to get this bike, the frame, the fork and the wheel. The headset's not going, but all of that is going to be packaged up in a box and hopefully in the back of a parcel force van tomorrow, making its way down to Liverpool, I believe. But that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.